For the next few minutes, don't multitask. If you've got different things going on, I want you to come all the way in. Just be present with me for a minute. I want to talk to you about sex and anger, something that doesn't really get spoken about enough. This is not a video about RAPE or violence or sexual violence. It's just about the everyday situations that couples find themselves in when a man wants to have sex with his female partner or wife, and she's not in the mood for whatever reason or not interested, so the man gets angry. Now, maybe this is all that needs to be said on the subject, but I've never seen a man get angry, hostile, aggressive, frustrated, or mad at a woman, and then that woman turned around and said, fine, let's go have sex, and then she actually enjoyed herself, or it was worth it to her. I think in just the speaking of that sentence, a man gets angry, a woman gives in, so they go and have sex, and she gives him what he needs. That should sound pretty terrible to most of you. Now, one of the most frustrating things about this subject is that no one ever argues the other side because it sounds too dangerous. So I'm just going to speak the other side so you understand what it is, and then you can form your own beliefs about it. The other side is when a man and woman come together in union, there's an expectation that they both will meet each other's needs and be there through sickness and in health till death do you part. Sexual needs are very much real. Now, if a woman says she needs sex and isn't getting enough sex from her man and he won't give it to her, then she's brave to break up with him. And there's a lot that is skewed in a woman's favor where it's understandable if she's frustrated, sexually frustrated, irritable. Sometimes it's cute, sometimes it's awesome, sometimes we really appreciate a woman who wants to have more sex. But if a man, God forbid, wants more sex than his female partner is willing to offer, this feels very, pick your poison of disgusting words, predatory, domineering. Is it a woman's obligation to service or satisfy a man just because he's horny? And the answer to that is, of course not. Of course she's not obligated to do anything with her body that she doesn't want to do, but you just have to understand the exact same situation sounds so different when you have a super horny wife or a super horny man, and they're both not getting their needs met. The big issue here is that neither partner can just go off and help themselves to someone else if you're in a committed monogamous relationship or marriage like most people are, right? That's cheating, that's problematic. So in a sense, when one partner does not want to have sex with the other person, this person is trapped and their sexual needs go unmet. Now, if that's for a day or two, who cares? A week or two, who cares? Once you start getting into a month or two, a year or two, or large amounts of time in between not being able to have sex, it can become frustrating and irritating for both partners. And in fact, this is absolutely one of those episodes where we can say that if a woman gets sexually frustrated and she gets angry, it's not very likely that the man is going to get rock hard, turned on, and ready to fulfill her needs. And I know a lot of men listening might think that's ridiculous. If my wife came to me and was so horny and wanted to have sex with me all the time, I'd be jumping on it in an instant. But you don't know what it's like when someone wants something more than you do, or you're not ready for it, you're not turned on, you're not in the headspace for it. It actually feels very daunting. And what it does is it creates this enormous pressure where this person has something that they want and they need, and you're down here and you're like, do I give it to him? I'm not really in the mood. And the crazy thing is that sex can be very connecting. And if you both have that kind of relationship where the intimacy is nice and one person isn't doing a favor for the other, it can work out in some cases. Someone can come around or get warmed up. And I know many of you have had these very unusual experiences where you thought you didn't want it and then you did get into it, or you knew you didn't want it and you never got into it. And you have to wake up to that partner every single day. So most men are good men. Most men do not want to hurt their wife. They don't want to demand things from their wife. They don't want to have unreasonable expectations that make her feel pressured or uncomfortable. And so it's really hard to reconcile when you love somebody and you want to give them what they want, but your body does not feel like doing the most intimate thing. It's a very, very difficult subject. If you've been sexually deprived for weeks and weeks or months on end, It's very natural and very okay to feel frustrated, upset, hurt, mad, even angry, depressed, irritable, pissed off. But it's 100% not okay to take that anger out on your partner. It's okay to express frustration to them. It really is. But you have to understand that, like almost all content that I talk to you about, there's a consequence to everything you do. And some things are okay to do, but it's going to have repercussions. If as a man you're frustrated and you show that frustration to your female partner, and maybe in the beginning she gives in to you or she allows something to happen, you probably know how you felt after that. Was she into it? Did she just get it over with? Did she say, hurry up and finish so we can get on with our day? This is where we really get into the dark side of relationships, even in healthy relationships where two people love each other. I think we have really different ideas of what women are and are capable of when we grow up, and what women can or should do in an intimate setting or in a relationship. All the common rules apply that we all know. A woman should not have sex without full consent. She shouldn't do anything that she doesn't want to do. She shouldn't be forced to do anything that she doesn't want to do. She shouldn't be pressured or coerced or made to do something that she doesn't want to do. And at the same time, if you have children and family and all different things going on, and your sex life really doesn't get much attention, what do? Because you can't force her, you can't make her have sex with you. And what you really want, guys, is you want her to want to have sex with you, which of course leads to the sponsor of this video. No, I'm just kidding. The sponsor is me. If you want to learn how to actually seduce, entice, excite, i.e. make her want to have sex with you, that is a skill set that can be learned. So if you're interested in that, check out closeness.com, continue to listen to the Closeness podcast, and it'll take you to some pretty amazing places. But sometimes you find yourself in that situation where you're frustrated and angry, and I'm here to tell you, whether you're a man or a woman, and you bring anger, frustration, hate, irritability to your partner, your chances of having sex with them diminish 100-fold. And if they do have sex with you, which I do not recommend they do, and I would never suggest that if someone comes at you in an angry fashion, that you then just give them what they want sexually and expose the most vulnerable parts of you to them, because it can't ever really have a great outcome. And I'm not talking about angry sex or breakup sex or where you've had a fight with each other and the sexual chemistry builds up. And so you have this sort of one-off experience that blows your mind and it brings you temporarily closer together. I'm talking about where people have disparate sex drives and the person whose drive is up here gets so frustrated and angry continuously and they bring it to their partner. So this comes out with them being haughty, comes out with them being aggressive, mean in their responses, withdrawing. And again, how we process frustration and anger, we all have different ways of doing it. You're allowed to feel hurt and upset. But especially if the woman is down here with the lower sex drive or not wanting it, and you're angry up here, sex is simply never going to happen. And I want to explain why. There are so many reasons why a woman would not want to have sex with an angry partner. It's unsafe, it's unattractive, it's not sexy, it certainly makes her feel pressure or forced to do something she doesn't want to do, and when a woman's need to feel safe is one of the top requirements for her to have sex in most situations, how is a man who's yelling, angry, frustrated, irritable, pissed off, snappy, disrespectful, mean, or loud going to make a woman want to fuck him? What is she supposed to do? Just take off her clothes and be like, oh my God, I'm so glad you're yelling at me right now. Let's do it. Oh my God, we had such a horrible argument and such a horrible fight. Let's get to it. The math doesn't compute. It doesn't work that way. Now, there are different levels of anger. It's one thing to be irritable, frustrated, a little annoyed all the time because you're not getting laid and you really need to release and all of this. Or you're actually being disrespectful, condescending, and rude to your wife, or you're yelling at her, you're raising your voice at her, you're yelling at the children, you're always freaking out, you're overreacting and having an incredibly strong reaction that is freaking her out. But each of these levels completely wipes out your chances of a woman wanting to have sex with you. So what do? You've got to find another outlet for your anger. You've got to find another outlet to satisfy you, to distract you. You need to learn how to process your anger. You got to sit with it. I do recommend doing it in a group setting if possible, or with a third party such as myself. And it absolutely is okay to tell her you're frustrated, you are getting upset, you're irritable, especially when you're not in an intimate setting. You can let her know that you're feeling sad, you want to connect with her, you're feeling annoyed, what can we do? These types of constructive conversations are absolutely okay to have. But if in the middle of the night you reach your hand out and she pushes you away, or she pulls the covers over, or she doesn't want to get too close, or you feel constantly rejected, or she's saying, babe, not now, I'm not feeling it, or just so you know, I'm not in the mood, or just so you know, it's not going to happen tonight, and then you get pissed off or angry, she immediately feels that. This feels like a catch-22 because it's like, well, you're frustrated, you're aroused, you're excited, she's your wife, you're not having sex with billions and billions of other women. The only person you could have sex with was her, and she doesn't want it tonight, and she didn't want it last night or the night before, and now it's just getting out of control for you. What do? Well, legally, you can go, it's probably a good idea to go satisfy yourself or take care of business on your own or make yourself feel better. And I would absolutely get some professional help, but it's indicative that something else is wrong. It might be your anger. It might be the frustration that she feels and the pressure. It might be that your drive always makes her feel like you expect too much and it keeps pushing her down. She might have her own issues. She could be very type A, go, 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 and she's dealing with her own company, and she's dealing with work and business and kids and her own life and her own bodily issues. She might be going through something where she's not feeling sexy or attractive or sexually active. It could be an age thing. It could be premenopause. It could be menopause. It could be many things that lead to it. And all of these things, men don't really have a great understanding of. We don't really know what to do with it. It's like, I've actually had several clients come in where a woman has expressed that her body is in pain. Sometimes painful sex can be known as vaginismus, where just penetration is extremely painful to her down there, and men just get exacerbated. They're just like, I'm sorry it hurts you, but what's the deal? When are we going to get this fixed, and what are you going to do about it? And there's so little empathy. They think that having sex is such a right, not a privilege, or that it's expected that a woman should be ready or want to do it on all occasions. And it's just not that way. Now, to balance out the perspective, if you're in a long-term marriage and months and years are going by and your frequency is I don't even want to put numbers on it, but I'm just making something up. Once a month, every couple months you're having sex, that is considered a sexless marriage to be doing it, perhaps less than 12 times a year. Not my hard and fast numbers. Each couple might have their own thing that feels right to them. If there's a lack, you're right to feel that way. But the point is, you can't ever bring your anger to your wife. You need a punching bag, a real one, not using her as your verbal punching bag. You need an outlet, a creative outlet, a way to let off stress, possibly meditation, breathing, walking, spending time with friends, spending more time alone, taking care of yourself, working on your own erotic desires, and very specifically, when the time is right, finding things that actually excite her and turn her on. Not a lot of people know those things about their partner. They just do the same easy button. They pinch her nipple or, do something that they know she likes, kiss her ear or neck, and that's just the default move. And they really always say this. They want to hit it like an easy button and just okay, let's get to it. She should be turned on. And I always like to say women need 20, sometimes 40 things to happen before they can get turned on. Those 20 to 40 things can happen in quick succession. It can be very easy to do them. And it might be a look and then an approach, and then you grab her and then you touch her and then you kiss her and then you caress her and then you take something off and then you move her around. But you have to take the time to get to know her again. And just because you've known each other for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, or 30 years does not mean that you really know her. Our tastes change. Our sexuality changes. What we need changes. So if you recognize yourself in this or your partner in this, send them this episode, send it to someone who you know needs it, almost everybody does, and book a paid consultation with me in San Diego in person or virtually. You can visit closeness.com for details. You can fill out an intake form at closeness.com/intake. You can continue to watch the Closeness podcast at youtube.com/closeness. And if this video has made a meaningful difference in your life, you can tip me in proportion to the value that you received. My Venmo is Closeness, Cash App is Closeness, and there are plenty other ways to do that as well. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that if you are going through something like this, that you take it seriously and you get the help that you really need. Because enough resentment, frustration, distancing, and pushing away is going to cause one or both of you to shut down for a very long time. So I hope you'll take it seriously and do something about it. Thank you for your time. I'll catch you in the next one.